I want to talk first about the walkout today and how it's taking place on Red Cup Day. And this is significant because it's one of a number of promotions that Starbucks, the company, has run, including half off Thursdays, buy one, get one free offers. What is it about these promotions that the parent company keeps running that is troublesome, difficult, and challenging for the staff?
I mean, they're troublesome because the company simply does not staff the store adequately for the uptick in business. In fact, these Thursdays that were thrown at us in the month of, I think it was September, they came out of nowhere. And managers were actually instructed by the corporation not to up labor to compensate for this uptick in business. And that makes for a terrible situation and environment, not only for the barista working those shifts, but also for the customer who's coming in expecting to get their beverage in a timely manner.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's hard to explain to someone who really needs their caffeine fix what's going on when there aren't enough people to answer any questions. We've been talking about Starbucks union campaigns since 2021. It's been 2 long years. And we know that unions growth has slowed down a little bit since earlier last year. Is the campaign having trouble keeping up momentum? And if so, why?
I don't believe that the campaign is having trouble keeping up momentum. I do think, and I think this has been very apparent, Josh just gave a very sort of in-depth report on the legal issues that we've been facing with the company. The company continues to break U.S. labor law. And some of those labor laws involve surveillance and intimidation of workers who are wanting to organize. So that is something that we have to continually overcome. But I think what we need to take notice of is that in spite of this very public war on their workers are still contacting the union daily, especially around these specific situations like Red Cup Day, where they know they're going to go into an awful situation, asking us with help to organize their store. Workers are not afraid of this company, and the company should be very afraid of that.
Michelle, I'm glad you brought that up because the U.S. Labor Board, it's issued over 100 complaints that accuse Starbucks of illegal anti-union tactics. When you think about that, has that, in your view, changed at all how the company is behaving and operating?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I started with this company in 2010, so I've got a wide breadth of knowledge, institutional knowledge of how this company was functioning prior to this campaign. They have changed how they do just about everything, from hiring to training to surveillance within the store, actually installing different types of surveillance, which, they say is for our safety, but the reality is they're using it to surveil their own workers. And so we should take note of that. It's very serious when a corporation that has essentially endless resources like Starbucks decides to turn those resources in on their workers to attempt to stop them from executing their legal right within this country to organize their workplace.
Michelle, what do you think it's actually going to take to get an actual union contract, though, with Starbucks? And what potential timeline could we be talking about here?
I mean, what we are seeing right now, this very vocal, very public display of solidarity between not only the Starbucks workers, but our labor allies who are standing with us, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the public saying, hey, this is not acceptable. You cannot treat your workers like that. It's going to take labor allies saying, hey, look, we're standing with these workers. So, you've got about 9,000 unionized Starbucks workers right now to date. Add on to that thousands of additional labor allies who are willing to say, this company is not what it's cracked up to be. You're a progressive company, Starbucks. Let's see that. Embrace the union, set the example for the service industry, be on the right side of history, and we're going to keep making sure that this campaign stays in the public eye.
Michelle, you have been a 13-year Starbucks barista in Buffalo, New York, so you've been working at Starbucks for more than a decade now. What surprised you about how the parent company has responded to everything you've done, to your union campaign?
Truthfully, I'm surprised every single day that we're still fighting the way we're fighting. When this was presented to me as an option in 2021, I was at a point where I was very frustrated with the company and how they had been treating their workers, in light of this global pandemic. And I thought, okay, here's an opportunity to present them with an additional option, to let them know that we as workers are here to solve some problems and we can have a seat at the table. We can have really great conversations. Nobody knows how to run these cafes better than those of us who are in there every single day. And I thought, hey, they'll probably resist this initially. but they're going to eventually see the light and realize that this is the right choice. And the fact that we're 2 years in and they still are fighting this the way they are, it's really, really disappointing. I'm not even sure that's strong enough word, but I came to this company because I thought they were better and I expected them to react better to this, and they just have not.